morning, ladies. Good to see you guys. How are we feeling? Is there anything in particular that you guys want to do? Shoulders?
Shoulders nearly need to be stretched out.
Okay. All right. Let's do some of that then. Sounds good. All right. Let's start in child's pose, and then you can kind of reach your arms out and just let your head hang. That might be a nice little beginning stretch for the shoulders. So you choose whether your knees are together or wide, and then just shift your weight back towards your heels. Again, just reach your arms out so you can start to feel a little bit of stretch through the shoulders and through the neck. Just allow your forehead to come down to the mat. Maybe shift your weight a little bit from side to side so you can really squeeze those hips back towards the heels, and then just settle in for a few breaths here in child's pose. We'll find centering here. And just lengthening out through the breath. And then notice each time you exhale, maybe the chest can come a little bit closer towards the mat. Not forcing anything, just noticing what feels good today. Maybe you can walk the fingers a little bit more forward, but keep those elbows grounded. Noticing again how the breath is moving today. Does it feel a little stickier? Is it nice and smooth? Inhales and exhales, just easy. Noticing how the hips feel. They're tight, like most of us. And then again, no shoulders. Spot where most of us hold some tension, so really trying to just relax. Taking about 3 more breaths here in your child's pose. And hopefully the mind is calm and easy. From here, go ahead and start to walk your hands in towards your body. So start to rise up. And if the knees are wide, go ahead and bring the knees together. Just set your weight back on your heels, and if that's uncomfortable, you can come onto your bum. From here, reach your arms up towards the sky. Take a great big reach. Look up towards the fingertips. And then pull your thumbs into heart center. Just relax the shoulders down and back. It feels good, maybe starting to release the chin towards the chest, the nose towards the fingertips. Taking a moment here, feeling all the feels, noticing how the body, the mind, the breath is working together, or maybe it's a little bit jagged. Take a great big breath in. Open up the mouth and let it go. Again, deep breath in. Complete breath out. One last time. Pull in all the air. Exhale to set it free. And then opening up the eyes if they're not already. And then finding your way over into your tabletop position. So coming onto hands and knees, maybe tapping out the tops of the feet if those feet are a little tingly. And then coming into stillness, taking a moment as you press the hands into the mat, noticing if you've got lots of space in between the fingers or the shoulders right there directly over the wrists. Being mindful that hips are over the knees. And then from here, drop your belly down and send your gaze to the sky, coming into our cow pose. And then notice where the shoulders are in space. Can you pull them back just a little bit? And then maybe notice as you pull the shoulders back, you can drop that belly down a little bit further. Maybe the tailbone can reach up a little bit higher. Go ahead and send your gaze up towards the sky. Take one more breath. And then slow and controlled, begin to round into the spine. Again, keeping those hands firmly rooted into the mat. And then begin to pull the chin in towards the chest, feeling that rounding sensation coming into our cat pose. Really scooping in through the belly. One more breath here in our cat. And then just beginning to find movement back and forth, in and out of your cow and your cat. If it feels really good to stay in one spot, do so, you choose. Just a couple of rounds to start to warm up the spine. Nice. And eventually finding our way back into that neutral tabletop. From here, we're going to curl the toes under, and then again, begin to shift your weight back. You're going to feel a nice stretch along the feet. And then walk your hands forward. Rest your chest on your thighs, and then you may start to feel that reach as you reach the hips back, reach the hands forward. So it's a nice stretch for the shoulders, nice stretch for the hips, but a really nice stretch for the bottom of the feet. One more breath. Then come on back into that tabletop position. Again, shift your weight back to the heels, come back to the knees, and then arms reach up towards the sky. From here, go ahead and sweep your right arm across the body. Use your left hand to grab onto that right forearm and relax the shoulders down. Spark the fingers, feel yourself lift up. And again, if it's too much on the knees or the feet, then feel free to come to your bum. One more breath with that nice big reach through the right arm. And then this time reaching that right arm up towards the sky. We're gonna bring that right hand to the top of the right shoulder and just start to roll it out. Make some circles. Yeah, just again, finding a little bit of space through the shoulder. And then switch the direction of your shoulder roll. Take it back. Then reach that right arm back towards the sky. This time bringing that hand to the back of your neck. And then reaching the left arm up, finding a nice stretch. So grabbing onto that right elbow. And from here, begin to reach your chest forward. Grab onto the elbow and see if you can't find a little bit of opening through that left shoulder. A little bit of a back bend. Nice. One more deep breath here. And then go ahead and release both hands down towards the ground, just right there to the fingertips. Chin comes to the chest, right ear to right shoulder. Chin back to the chest, left ear to left shoulder. And then come on back through center. This time sweeping that left arm across the body, grabbing on that right hand, relaxing through the right shoulder, left shoulder. Sparking the fingers, feeling yourself lift up tall. Beautiful, one more breath. And then release that left arm to the sky. Bring it to the top of the left shoulder and then start to make those circles, roll it out. Switch direction, around. Yeah, great big circles. How much space? And then arm reaches back to the sky. This time giving yourself that pat on the back. Right arm to the sky, grabbing onto that left elbow. And then as soon as you have contact with the elbow, press your chest forward, gaze up. A little bit of a tricep stretch, shoulder stretch, low back stretch. Awesome, one more deep inhale. And then again, release those fingertips down to the ground, left ear to left shoulder, chin to the chest, right ear to right shoulder. Maybe this time you drop the head all the way back, and then just make a couple circles with the neck, take the head around and around. Maybe hearing that little bit of a crunching noise, totally normal. And then switch the direction of your roll. Just trying to release tension where we hold it. Yeah, so much tension there. Coming back through center. One more time. Reach the arms up towards the sky. This time, right hand grabs onto that left wrist. Reach up and then take a side bend over towards the right. Keep the gaze out in front of you to begin. Another breath here. And then start to rotate your chest open towards the sky. Look up. Oh yeah, great big stretch. Bring it back through center. Switch out the hands. This time left hand grabs right wrist. Gaze forward to begin. And then rotate chest up towards the sky. Looking up and underneath of that right arm. Final deep breath. And then release the hands back down, coming back into tabletop again, tapping the tops of those feet, letting that tingle, letting it go. All that fresh blood to the feet. And then from here, go ahead and curl the toes under. Lift the knees up. Just let those knees hover for a moment. So we're going to fire up through the core, pressing firmly into the hands, shoulders over the wrists. Take another deep breath right here. And then slowly, slowly, take your time, begin to take the bend out of the knees, making your way into your downward facing dog. Once you get to down dog, start to pedal it out a little bit. Should feel good on those ankles and feet. Just letting the head hang heavy. Nice. Wagging your tail side to side. Put a smile on your face if it's not already there. Coming back through center. Make sure those feet are at about hip distance. It would be measured at 2 fists in between the feet. And then from here, we're going to lift up the left leg and bring the left foot to the outside of the right foot. So you've got your left pinky toe touching your right pinky toe. You're going to need to bend into that right knee and then begin to shift your way back, pressing that left heel in towards the ground, getting a nice stretch through that left hamstring, left IT band. Maybe the chest can come back just a little bit further. Maybe that left heel can find its way just a teeny tiny bit closer to the mat. Taking one more breath here in your stretch. And then go ahead and bend back into that left knee. Bring it back to meet back in our traditional down dog. Big breath in. Ooh, let it go. Here we go, other side. Reach that right leg up to the sky. And then bring that right foot to the outside of the left, this time bending into the left knee as you start to drop that right heel towards the earth, and then chest comes back towards the thigh, feeling the stretch through the leg, through the shoulders, releasing the head. Just let it hang heavy, nothing to see. Noticing if there's tension in the jaw, doing your best to release. Awesome, one more breath here. And then unwind the feet, coming back to traditional downward facing dog. From here, begin to roll yourself forward into plank pose, bringing the shoulders past the wrists, holding for a breath, and then sending the hips back up to the sky. Take it back to that high plank, shoulders past wrists, and then lifting the hips up. One more time, come forward into that high plank, hold here. Yeah, feel all those sensations, right? All that hard work. And from here, we're gonna bring that right knee to the outside of that right elbow. Hold, press away, scoop through the belly, and then send the right leg back. Bring that left knee to the outside of that left elbow, squeeze it in, hold, and step it back. So let's speed that up. Right knee to right elbow, and back. Left and back, right and back, left and back. One more time, right knee, back, left knee, back, hips to the sky, downward facing dog, big breath in. Ooh, let it go. Nice work, right leg reaches to the sky. Go ahead and bend the knee, open up the hip, make some circles with the ankle, switch the direction. And then re-extend. All right, same thing. Here we go. Come forward. Bring that right knee with you outside of that right tricep. Send it back up. Again, knee to tricep, to the sky. One more time, squeeze it in, reach it back up, hold for a breath, really lift up onto the ball of that left foot, and then release the right foot down. Inhale, ooh, exhale. Just creating a little heat. Here we go, left leg, send it up, bend the knee, open up the hip. Again, circle it out through the ankle. Try to keep those shoulders as level as possible. And then re-extend left leg. Here we go, bring it forward and send it back. Squeeze it in, reach it high. Last time, pull it to touch, maybe a little bit higher on that arm. Send it back into the sky. And then release the left foot down. Go ahead and drop down onto your knees. Again, shift your weight back to your heels and reach the arms back towards the sky. Go ahead and just circle out through the ankles, or through the wrists, sorry. Wrists and ankles, same thing, right? Switch it out. Nice. Go ahead and release that right hand down. Send that left arm up. Take a nice side bend, maybe bending deeply in towards that right elbow. Option to keep the gaze forward, to look up towards the sky, feeling a nice stretch through that left side body. And then switching it out, bringing the left hand down, reaching right arm up and over. Come back through center. Go ahead and reach both arms to the sky. Interlace the fingers. Let's come into a seated cat. So press the palms up and then send those palms forward, chin in towards the chest, really scooping through the belly. Plug the shoulders in. Release. Yeah, feel that nice release through the shoulders and the neck. Final deep breath. And then coming back into that tabletop position. So back in those hands and knees. And again, to curl the toes under. Lift the knees up just to hover. Hold here for a breath. And again, taking your time as you slowly, slowly begin to find your way back to downward facing dog. This time, take a look back towards the feet. And then lift up onto the balls of the feet. Press the heels down. Lift up and lower down. One more time, lift up. Lower the heels down. Send that right leg to the sky. Again, bringing that right knee to the right elbow and sending it up. This time, bring that right knee to the nose. Shoulders come forward and send it back. Gonna cross it over, right knee to that left elbow and then kick the foot out, coming into our fallen triangle. Right hand down, left arm up. Yeah, option to stay here. Or maybe you start to release that right hip down just to hover. And then lift back up. Two more, lower down and lift. One more time. Back to the sky. Left hand releases and take it back. Three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip. This time, if you want to flip your dog, go ahead and flip it over. Otherwise, stay as you are. Just one more deep inhale. And then coming back to down dog. All right, last time through. Here we go. Left leg. Send it to the sky. Bring that left knee to the left elbow. Send it up. Knee to the nose. And back. Cross the body. And then kick the left foot out. Here we are. Fallen triangle on this side. Right arm reaches to the sky. So it's your choice. Again, staying as you are, just holding here. Or lowering that hip. And then lift. Lower. And lift. Last time, send it up, right hand down, left leg to the sky, bend the knee, open up the hip. If you flipped on the other side, flip it here just for a single breath. And then take it back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Woo, nice, big breath out. From here, beginning to walk your feet to the top of the mat. And once you get there, feet separate to hip distance. Go ahead and grab opposite elbows. And then let it go. Sway it out side to side, ragdoll. Nice work, ladies. Yeah, nice. Way to fire it up. Get that heartbeat going. Some blood pumping. And then come back through center, release the hands. Nice deep bend in the knees as you begin to rise up Reaching the arms up towards the sky, and then bringing those palms to touch. Shoulders roll up, back and down. And then from here, sweep the arms behind you, right thumb on top as you interlace the fingers. Press down through all four corners of the feet, and then begin to lift the chest as you squeeze shoulder blades together. Maybe that fist stays at the low back, or maybe you start to lift that fist off of the back. Nice shoulder stretch. Just try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Gaze up towards the sky. Take another breath. And then on your exhale, keep the bind of the hands. Begin to bend into the knees. Bring the chest to the thighs, and then send that fist up and over. Maybe the knees stay bent, chest resting on the thighs, or maybe you find length as you open up through the hamstrings, taking the bend out of the knees. 2 more breaths right here. Beautiful stretch. If you took the bend out of the knees, come on back, so sink the weight back. And then from here, rise all the way up. Come back up to our Hastasana, and then palms to the heart. Deep inhale. Ooh, a big breath out. This time, hands come behind the back, left thumb on top. So same thing, just switching out the grip. So start again by pressing into the feet, pressing that fist down. And then if it feels okay, start to lift up through the chest and send the fist away from the low back. Deep breath. And then again, bend back into the knees, chest to the thighs. Maybe you stay. Maybe as the head releases, that fist goes high. Maybe the hips reach high. Yeah, if you've got that length through the back of the legs, see if you can't just, with a teeny tiny bit, start to drop that right shoulder down, and then right shoulder starts to open up. A little bit of a twist. Bring it back through center. Right shoulder drops, left shoulder lifts. Back through center. And this time, release the hands down towards the ground. Bring the palms to the fronts of the shins for a halfway lift. And then exhale, hands down to the ground. Step the right foot back. Come to your runner's lunge. So wiggle those back toes back. Wiggle those left toes forward. And start to sink into your low lunge here. Notice if you're resting the chest on the thighs. See if you can't lift up through the heart. And then notice if that right knee is bent. Can you take a little bit of bend out of that right leg? Fire it up. Another breath here in your low lunge. And then step that left foot back, come to downward facing dog. Roll it out to plank pose, shoulders past wrists. Release the knees to the earth, squeeze the elbows into the body, and then lower all the way down to the mat. Once you get there, find your baby cobra. So start to lift up through the chest, pull those shoulder blades together. Really press through the tops of the feet. Gaze is about a foot or two out in front of you. One more deep breath. And then curl the toes under. Press your way back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Let that breath go. Right leg reaches to the sky. And then step that right foot in between the hands. Again, coming to our low lunge. So this time wiggling those left toes back, right toes forward. See if you can't find that really nice lift through the heart. Pressing away. Always option to use blocks here. Sinking just a little bit lower. Nice big stretch for that hip flexor. And then this time looking forward, bringing that left foot to meet the right top of the mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. And then exhale to fold. Press through the feet, rise up, reach up. Hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, right thumb on top, lift up. And then exhale, fold forward. Release the hands down, halfway lift. And then hands to the ground. This time left foot, step it back, come into that low lunge, sink into it. Yes, squeeze the belly in. Notice that the shoulders are hunching. Try to pull them down and back. One more breath here. And then back to downward facing dog. Take it out to your plank pose. Release the knees to the earth. Again, elbows squeeze in as you slowly lower. Don't let yourself just dump down to the mat. Take your time to get there. This time maybe it's that baby cobra, or perhaps it's a full cobra as you open up, lengthening out through the arms. But make sure there's a little bit of bend. Try not to hyperextend through the arms. Gaze up, and then curl the toes under, back to downward facing dog. Breath comes in. Release it out. left leg, send it up, and then step that left foot forward. Keep the back knee lifted, open up through the heart, really sink into it. Be mindful that that knee is over the ankle, so always time to wiggle those toes forward if you need to. One more deep breath here, and then look forward. Right foot comes to meet the left, top of the mat. Inhale, fold forward. Take it high to the sky. Hands behind the back, left thumb on top. Reach up, squeeze, and then fold forward. Take it down. Hands release to the earth, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground. Let's speed it up. Right foot steps back just for a breath. And then take it back to downward facing dog. Bring it out to plank pose. Your choice, knees up or knees down, all the way to the mat. Maybe this time it's baby cobra, maybe it's full cobra, maybe it's upward facing dog. And if you're upward facing dog, the only thing touching the ground are the hands and the tops of the feet. Lift the heart and then curl the toes back to downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Right leg high. One breath, step it through, low lunge. Left foot, top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bow down. Reach it high. Hands behind the back, right thumb on top. Squeeze, and then fold. Release. Hands to the shins. Hands to the ground, left foot, step it back. Just that one breath. And then take it to down dog. Bring it to plank, your choice, knees up, knees down, your choice. Baby cobra, full cobra, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left leg reaches up. Step it through, one breath in your low lunge, and then right foot meets. Inhale, and exhale. This time, walk those feet a little bit further than hip distance. And release that right hand underneath of your nose. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Gonna sweep that left arm up towards the sky and take a twist. Gaze up towards that left hand. Press into the mat, maybe using a block. And then release left hand down. Right arm reaches up, take your twist. Try to keep the hips as level as possible. And then release. This time, bending back into the knees. So again, keeping those feet where they are. And then this time, bring your hands behind you. Grab onto the backs of your calves. Slowly begin to slide the hands down to the backs of the ankles and then grab onto the ankles. From here, press into all four corners of the feet. So use that full foot and then slowly begin to lift your tailbone to the sky. Maybe you get those elbows behind the knee crease. And then bring the nose towards the knees. Keeping, again, as much bend in the knees as you need, but feeling a nice stretch all along the backs of the legs as well as the shoulders. Let the head hang heavy for 3, for 2, one last breath. And then bend back into the knees. Keep the hands on the ankles just for the moment. And then release the hands, bring them to your sides. Send the arms wide, like you're coming into airplane. And then press yourself all the way up. Reach the arms up towards the sky. And then bring those palms to your heart center. Ground down through that left foot. And then bring that right knee up into the chest. So go ahead and interlace the fingers in front of that right knee. Right? And then just squeeze it in. Yeah. See if you can't lift the knee up just a little bit higher. And then here, arms reach to the sky. So notice that right knee is going to want to try to drop down, but keep squeezing it up. Flex the toes in towards the shin. Hold here. And then bring that right ankle over top of the left thigh, coming into our figure 4. So try to open up that right knee the way that you would if you were coming into tree pose. And then palms find their way back to heart center. From here, start to sink down into that left hip. Shoulders staying right there over top the hips. Maybe you can sink just a little bit more. Holding here for 3 as I fall out. 2. One more breath. Keep that foot where it is. Start to lift yourself back up. We're coming back the way we went in. So sweep that right knee in and up. Arms reach to the sky. And then release the foot down. Nice. Hands come to the hips. Just roll it out for a minute. And let's work on the other side. So this time, keeping that right foot grounded, we're going to start by pulling that left knee up into the chest. So again, interlacing the fingers in front of that left shin, lifting it up as high as you can, feeling that little pinch right there in that left hip flexor. Toes pull in, and then arms reach to the sky. Try to keep that right or that left knee lifted, right? And notice that the shoulders are riding up. Try to relax. Lots of things to think about here. On another breath, we bring that left ankle to the top of the right thigh, and then hands to the heart. Keep those toes flexing in, protecting the joint, and then begin to sink yourself down. If you feel like you're rolling forward, really work to pull those shoulders up. It takes a little bit of work through the core, right? Yeah, nice. Here we go, sinking down for 3, for 2, on 1, lift up. Keep that left foot where it is. Bring it back up in towards the chest. So lift that left knee up. Feel that pinch. And then release the foot down. Nice. Go ahead and again, find a couple circles through the hips. Nice. All right. Come on back through center. Here we go. Arms reach to the sky. Plug the shoulders in. And then walk those feet together, big toes to touch, heels apart, sink it back into your Utkatasana, your chair pose. So we're gonna hold here in our chair for a couple of breaths, noticing that the weight should be in the heels, should feel a nice stretch through the glutes. And then on your next breath, we're simply gonna bring the chest to the thighs and sweep the arms back. Come back to chair. Sweep it back. Back to chair. 2 more times. Reach those fingertips back. Bring them to the sky. Send it back. Come back to your chair pose. Plug the shoulders in. 1 last breath here. And then exhale, fold forward. Hands to the shins, halfway lift. And then hands to the ground. Go ahead and step it back to downward facing dog. Make your way through that vinyasa flow, whatever version it is that you would like, or always option to skip. And then coming back to downward facing dog. Reach the right leg up to the sky. And then step that right foot forward, coming into our high crescent lunge here. So find your balance, arms reach up. Maybe you can sink a little bit lower into that right knee. And then from here, we're gonna twist, open it up. Left arm goes forward. Right arm goes back. Maybe there's a little bit more bend in that knee. Yeah, spark the fingers, rotate. Maybe you can twist a little bit deeper. And then let's take it back for a reverse. So right hand comes to the back of that left thigh. Left arm reaches up. And then sink into your reverse twist. Squeeze in through the belly. Nice, 1 more big breath. From here, coming back through that twist, back to the high crescent lunge, and then open it up into your warrior 2. Yeah, so readjusting the feet, taking a look back to make sure that back foot is level with the short edge of your mat, and that right knee is tracking over the pinky edge of the right foot. Finding lots of space in between the right hand and the left hand, shoulders just relax. 1 more breath. From here, keep the legs as they are, reach the arms up to the sky, interlace the fingers, and then bring the hands to the back of the head. Let your head fall into your hands, and then take the bend out of that right knee. Rotate the right toes in towards the middle of the mat. Let the head fall back, and then just reach your pelvis forward. Yeah, let those elbows open up wide, feel the collarbones, reach up to the sky. 1 more breath. And then lift the head back up. Come to warrior 2 at the back of your mat. So rotate those left toes around and then sink back down into it. Yeah, a couple breaths here, feeling those arms and shoulders start to talk to us. But be mindful, trying to keep those arms level. One more breath. And hands come to the back of the head. Take the bend out of that left knee. Toes rotate in. This time, we're gonna drop that right elbow down, taking a side bend. Bring it back through center. Drop that left elbow down. Let's do it one more time, side to side. Drop the right elbow. Back through center, drop the left elbow. Coming back through center. Go ahead and find warrior two towards the front of the mat, unwinding the arms, sinking back in towards that knee. And then cartwheeling the hands down to the ground. Option to take a vinyasa or to simply hang out in down dog. A little bit of a rest. And then eventually coming back to downward facing dog. Big breath in. Bigger breath out. Left leg goes high. Step the foot through. Come on up into that high crescent lunge. So finding your balance. Really pressing into that right foot, ball of the right foot. Shoulders relax. And then let's open it up. This time, right arm goes forward, left arm goes back. Sink down. Feel your heart rotate, but try to keep your hips still level towards the front of the mat. One more breath here. Left hand comes to the back of that right thigh. Right arm reaches up. Reverse. Spiraling the heart towards the sky. Another breath, maybe you can sink into that front knee. And then coming back through the twist. Arms reaching to the sky for that lunge. And then this time dropping the right heel, opening up into warrior two. Big inhale. Use that exhale to sink a little bit lower. And you got it, here we go. Hands come back behind the head. Let the head just fall into the hands, look up. Send those elbows nice and wide. And then bend out of the left knee. Bring it through. Pelvis reaches, gaze up, back bend. Yes, squeeze, 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 squeeze those shoulder blades together, finding just a little bit more space. And then unwinding yourself, warrior two, back of the mat. Couple breaths here. And it's easy to let those shoulders ride up. It takes a little bit of the pressure out. And I want you to relax, just reach. One more breath right here. And then bringing those hands back behind the head. Bend comes back out of that front knee. Bringing it back in. This time we're going to take a fold. So start by opening up through the chest. And then as you start to fold forward, bring the elbows together and begin to fold all the way down. Once you get as far down as you can go, release the hands down. Taking your variation of choice, maybe you grab onto the ankles, maybe it's the big toes. Maybe you bring the hands behind the back again to open up through the shoulders. Gonna take about 3 more breaths here. If you want to widen your stance a little bit, you can wiggle the toes out, creating a little bit more space between the feet. One last deep breath here. And releasing the hands if you had any sort of a bind. Pressing yourself back up. Taking it back through to warrior two. And then hands come down, stepping back, vinyasa, or straight to down dog. Once you get back to downward facing dog, take 3 cleansing breaths. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breath in, breath out. One more time, deep inhale. Complete exhale. Bring it out into plank pose. So roll yourself forward and then release the knees down. Shift the weight back, take your child's pose, releasing the head, releasing the elbows. If they're not already, bring the knees to touch so that you can just rest your chest right there on the thighs. One more breath. here, go ahead and send your gaze forward. We're simply going to slither ourselves all the way down onto our bellies. And then from here, we're going to come into our forearm plank. So bring that left elbow down, bring that right elbow down. Starting off in our Sphinx pose, lifting up through the heart, and then curling the toes under so that we can lift ourselves into our forearm plank. Gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, release the pelvis down, flip the tops of the feet, come back to Sphinx. Feel the shoulders just relax down the back. Gaze over the bridge of the nose. Try not to clench through the glutes. One more breath. And then coming back in one more time into that forearm plank. So curl the toes under. Lift the hips up for 5, 4, 3, 2. This time on 1, lift the hips to the sky. And then start to walk your feet in towards your elbows, coming into dolphin. Yeah, so notice again, shoulders easily can ride up towards the ears, but try to relax them down. Yeah. You can stay still or reach that right leg up to the sky. Maybe you take a couple hops, or maybe you stay still and release the right foot down. Left leg reaches up, maybe a couple of hops. And then release the left foot down. Walk it back to that Sphinx pose, releasing the belly down to the ground. One more breath here. And then create that little pillow underneath of your forehead. Hand stacks on top of hand. Release the forehead. Pull the heels in towards your bum. And then just windshield wiper side to side. Right. Let's do a little bit of low back work. So from here, we're going to start by reaching the arms out in front of us, okay? We'll take this step by step. We're going to start with the arms, okay? So feel yourself press the pelvis down in towards the ground, press the tops of the feet in towards the ground. And then from here, slowly begin to lift your chest off of the ground and then lift your hands off of the ground. Plug those shoulders back in. Again, gaze forward. Try not to have too much of a wrinkle through the back of the neck. Looking down. One more deep breath. Can you lift up? And then exhale, lower down. Go ahead and drop the right cheek to the mat. If you want to windshield wiper the legs, feel free. And then release the feet down. Send the gaze back towards the thumbs. This time we're going to work the legs. So walk your big toes together. See if your knees can't touch. Keep those hands and elbows grounded this time. We're going to just use the feet. So fire up. Come up with your little mermaid legs, little mermaid tail. And then slowly begin to lift the feet, lift the knees, and then plug the shoulders in. Again, trying to keep little to no effort in the neck. So gaze maybe just a few inches out in front of you. One more breath to lift up the legs. And then exhale, let it go. This time, releasing left cheek to the mat. Option to windshield wiper. And then coming back. All right. So we're going to put it all together. And if that's too much for the low back, then feel free to either lift the arms or lift the legs. Okay, we'll come in and out of this a couple of times. So if you're doing both at the same time, then get yourself ready, fire everything up, squeeze through the legs, and then together let's lift it all up and then lower it down. Lift it up and lower it down. One more time, lift it all up, hold one more breath, and lower it down. Nice job. Go ahead and make that pillow again. Forehead, or if a cheek feels better, pull the heels in towards your bum. And then just shake it side to side. Release the low back. And from here, go ahead and re-extend the legs out. Bring your hands back by your sides. We'll come through an upward facing dog. One more little low back here. Lift up and then release the knees down. Walk your hands in towards your knees and then just shift your weight over towards the right hip, extending the legs out in front of us. All right, let's do a little bit of abdominal work before we take it all the way down. So from here, we're going to reach those arms out. Just keep the feet pressing into the mat, knees up, plug shoulders in. And then on a count of 5, we're going to lower all the way down to our back. So coming down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Bring the knees into the chest for a quick squeeze. And then keep the knees into the chest. Bring the hands to the back of the head, just like we've been. Interlace the fingers. And then we're going to start by bringing the knees in towards the elbows. Find that crunch. And then release the legs long. Just keep them hovered. And then let the head come to hover. Squeeze elbows into knees. And then lengthen everything out. Keep going. We can do 10 of these. So that's 3, 4. Keep breathing. Slow and controlled. Feeling those abs work. 3, 2. One more time. Take it all out. Keep those elbows lifted. Keep those ankles lifted. One more breath. Lower it all down. Nice. Walk those feet back in towards the body. And then bring your arms out like a T. Just drop the knees over to the left. Back through center, drop it to the right. One more time through center, over to the left. And then over to the right. From here, we're going to find our way into our figure 4, coming back into that figure 4, right? So keep the right foot down on the ground, and then bring that left leg up towards the sky. Go ahead and make some circles through the ankle, roll it out. And then bring that left ankle on top of that right thigh. Begin to lift that right foot off of the ground, and then interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. See if you can't use that left elbow to maybe send that left knee a little bit further towards the sky. And then flex the toes in towards the shin. Taking about 5 to 6 breaths here. Noticing if maybe you can't find a little bit more stretch as you pull that right knee a little bit closer into the chest. Not yanking, not forcing, but just noticing if there might be a little bit more space, a little bit more accessibility to deepen the stretch the longer that we're here. Last big breath in. See if this exhale can't bring that knee just one more inch closer. And then slowly begin to release the hands from behind the thigh. Drop that right foot down. Coming back out into those T-shaped arms. And then this time, dropping both knees over towards the right. If it's too much to keep that left knee stacked on top of the right, feel free to unwind, coming into our supine twist. And then slowly unwinding, coming back through center. Release that left foot to the ground. Hands come back down by your sides. This time, right foot reaches up to the sky. Take a couple of those circles. Roll out the ankle. Maybe crack the toes a little bit, whatever feels good. And then releasing that right foot to the top of the left thigh. Starting to lift up through that left foot, bringing that left knee in towards the chest, and then hands come behind the left thigh, coming into our reverse pigeon, supine pigeon, working that knee, that thigh in towards the chest. And then again, utilizing that right elbow by pressing into that right thigh, Maybe sending that right knee a little bit closer towards the sky. Feel a nice stretch through the right hip. If at any point in time it becomes too much, then simply let go a little bit. Know your body, know what feels good. Always that threshold between a little bit of challenge and maybe some slight discomfort versus pain. Never wanting to feel the pain. 2 more breaths. And slowly beginning to release the hands from the back of the thigh. Left foot comes down, arms back to that T shape. This time the knees fall over towards the left. Being mindful to try to keep both shoulder blades pressing into the mat. Maybe the gaze finds its way over towards that right hand. Maybe that left hand just gently guides that right knee a little bit closer. All kinds of options you choose. One last breath. And slowly beginning to find your way back through center, unwind the legs, squeeze the knees into the chest. Go ahead and grab onto opposite elbows, lifting the forehead up to the knees. Give yourself a great big squeeze. And then last time to work those abs, go ahead, release the elbows, reach the arms up overhead, keep those shoulder blades lifted, gaze up towards the sky. And then slowly, slowly flex the toes in towards the feet. Start to unwind the legs, reaching those legs out. Keep them hovered. Yeah, feeling all that work through the abs. Lift up through the heels, lift up through the arms. One more breath. Let it all go. Hands down by your sides. If there are any last postures that you'd like to take, any inversions, maybe a happy baby. But if you're done and you're done, then be done. Savasana, final resting pose. Giving ourselves about, 2 minutes or so here to just relax. Feel all of those amazing benefits that we get from our yoga practice. Noticing any differences in the body or breath. No judgment, just simply noticing. Earth below, sky above, and peace within. slowly and gently, beginning to reawaken the body. Take your time, no rush. Just beginning to find a little bit of movement, starting off with those fingers and toes, ankles, wrists. Maybe feeling yourself rock from side to side, hips, shoulders, back of the head. And then when you're ready, reaching the arms back up overhead one more time for that great big full body stretch. Wake it all up. And then hug the knees into the chest. So, so good. Releasing your knees to your favorite side, coming into fetal position. I've learned that people will forget what you said. They'll forget what you did. But they will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. Taking your time to make your way into an easy seat. Crossing the legs in front of the body. Pulling your shoulders over your hips. Just allow the eyes to remain closed. And eventually bringing those thumbs to your heart space. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and let it go. Pulling your thumbs to your forehead, your seat of intuition. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved. And may all beings be safe. I bow to you in namaste. Thank you, ladies.
Christina.
Thanks for being with me this morning.
Yeah. It's a great session.
Well, enjoy the beautiful weather. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.